Most players think getting stronger in Call of Dragons is all about hardcore grinding. But the real power jumps are coming from hidden systems like the hero system, the pet synergy, decoration bonuses, artifact setups, also your path to the first major milestone in the game, and this is tier 5. And if you don't use them right, you're missing the biggest power boost in the entire game. Hey friends, welcome back. Today I'll walk you through the advanced side of Call of Dragons in a way that's still easy to understand. Heroes, pets, decorations, artifacts, and even your road to tier 5 troops. By the end, you'll know exactly what to focus on so you grow faster without wasting anything. And I can say this is a part 2 from the advanced Call of Dragons beginner guide. I have beginner guide, you can go and check out this video. This is your day 1 setup, the beginner guide. This is the advanced path right here. So first thing first, let's talk about the heroes. This is the first thing you're going to notice. First you get the hero, and after this rest of the things. Or if I can be more easy in this explanation, is I'm going to create one legion. We're going to talk everything what is in these legions. This is the heroes, this is the artifacts, and this is the pets and the troops involved. So first thing first, this is the heroes. We're having 4 different types of heroes. We're having marksman heroes, we have mage heroes, we have infantry heroes, we have cavalry heroes, actually it's 5 to be honest, and we have overall heroes that can work perfectly well with any other troop, and it's not troop specific. So I'm going to start, since I'm mage main, I'm going to start with the mages. And maybe before I jump over the mages, I want to say, since I said I'm mage main, I strongly suggest everybody go with a single troop build. For example, go for mage heroes, go for mage artifacts, mage pets, everything related to the mage. Invest your resources in, for example, mages. And I still believe in Call of Dragons, mages are the best beginner troop for free-to-play players. So what separates mage heroes and mage legions from the rest of the heroes? First thing first is mages are hitting from very far. The attack range of the mages are very far. Extremely important because it gives you this safe spot, if I can actually say it like this, because you're hitting from very big distance. Something else about the mage heroes is they strongly rely over their hero skills, because they're having one of the lowest attack in Call of Dragons. If you check it out, the mage troops, you're going to notice, for example, here is Vestals, that they're having not much magic attack. Rest of the troops are having bigger attack. The only exception is infantry, because they're game tanks, let's say it like this. But cavalry and marksmen are having way bigger damage from the mages. So mage heroes are depending and rely on hero skill damage. In many of the cases, the mage heroes are doing also area of effect damage or AoE damage, just because, again, they're relying not on normal attacks, they're relying on the hero skill damage. From there, I'm going to jump over the marksman heroes. The specific thing for the marksman heroes is they rely on the normal attack of the marksmen. Now the difference also between the mages and marksmen is, maybe this marksman is better example, is the attack range of the marksmen is medium. So mages are having bigger attack from the marksmen. So as a marksman hero, you're going to just attack from more close. The other thing specific for the marksman heroes is they're counting over the attack of the troop. And marksmen are having the biggest attack in Call of Dragons. If you check it out, it's like 452 is the normal attack of my ballistas. If I go over my mages, you're going to see just how brutal is the difference in point of normal attack between the marksmen and the mages. So the game designed the marksman heroes to rely mostly over the attack of the troops. And I'm going to give an example with Frygar. The Frygar is deals damage to the target, some normal attack, damage factor 800, and increase the Legion normal attack critical rate by 60%. So the more damage your normal attacks are doing, you get critical over this thing. Some other hero that is meta in Call of Dragons is Magrat. Magrat is going to have the normal attack damage bonus 450%. So the bigger is the normal attack, the more damage this hero is going to do. And this is the main mechanic between the marksmen, boosting the normal attack of the troops and the Legion. From there, we're jumping over the cavalry heroes. And in this example, I'm going to share that this is Bakshi. This is a season 1 hero. The specific thing about the cavalry heroes is they're doing massive damage very fast. Again, is strongly connected with the troops that they're running, basically the cavalry. Now in this case, you're going to see that the Bakshi is doing solid damage for season 1 hero, 1.4 hero skill damage, and giving some HP bonus, but the fourth one is giving a chance to get passion. This is increased rage accumulational speed. Some other cavalry that I want to point out is Emrys. Emrys also have this rage accumulation speed bonus. And I can point to more heroes in Call of Dragons, like for example Nea, that is giving extra rage. And maybe one more example, the best cavalry heroes right now, this is Urak, and he's also giving rage accumulation speed. So the specific thing about the cavalry heroes is they're having very fast rage regeneration and they're hitting very strong. The bad thing is this type of heroes are melee units. If you see attack range it can be mid-range because you can run it with the Spring Warden, the Elk Riders, but in general they're in it's like melee range, let's say it like this. But yeah, it's a rage regeneration. On top of that, the heroes that are cavalry is benefiting from one of the cavalry bonuses, and this is the rush. After coding with a ranged legion, the hero commanding his legion get 1000 rage and get violent. So immediately they're going to trigger their rage skills. So here we're seeing some extra connection between the heroes, rage accumulation speed, and getting 100% rage at the beginning against rage legions. And I'm going to even demonstrate this thing by attacking this poor creature right here. You're going to see, first of all, we're having charge from the cavalry, and immediately everybody start firing up their rage skill. So this is something like instant death for the rage legions if you have some solid cavalry. The next troop type heroes is infantry one, and personally you're going to see so much infantry on the battlefield with the new heroes coming in Call of Dragons. But what is specific for the infantry? In the season 1, the infantry are more like just tanks or just meat shields. I mean, they get hitted, they're just your front lines, but easy to get killed. In Generation 2, even in Generation 1, I can say Madeline is going to give you some counterattack, but from Generation 2 going further, the infantry become infantry heroes become really powerful heroes. And this example is Generation 2 hero, that is Goresh. Goresh is increasing the physical attack, biowatt, and damage taken reduction. Specific for the infantry is HP and defense, just base stats. We're not having some rage accumulation speed or hero skill damage. Here we're talking just boosting the normal attack, normal troop stats like physical attack bonus, damage taken reduction, also counter attack bonus. We're going to see more and more counter attack bonus, extra defense, and some extra damage. But the infantry also strongly rely also over the pets and the artifacts. Other infantry hero that is right now also a meta hero, this is Kuma, and as you can see, the Kuma is draining 20% of the target legion and 10% of the HP of the legions near the target. and this is something that he's going to add as his own bonuses. The Legion can gain HP bonus up to 50% by draining the target legions. Very, very important. So for infantry, I can say there is just normal base stats like defense and attack, and they're having also the counter attack. Right now in Call of Dragons, they're one of the biggest pains. It's not that easy like in the season 1, but this is something specific for the infantry. The other specific thing about the infantry is they're also having a charge. We saw the cavalry charge, infantry is also having this type of charge. March speed is getting increased when approaching the target legion, and when you hit this legion, the march speed of this legion is going to get reduced by 75% for 8 seconds. On top of that, the mages are having ironclad or sword alertness. They have 50% chance to get 1 stack of ironclad. Each stack is reducing the range damage taken by 5% up to 8 stacks, which is something like 40%. So the specific about the infantry is they're your tanks, okay? They're your tanks, but in same time, with good preparation, good synergy, good artifacts, they can end up one of your best merits making legions also. And finally is overall heroes. The overall heroes specific for them is they're combining pretty easy with any type of troops. For example, I can actually give you an example. If you're having, for example, Grumara, which is for mages, leading mages, and you put it with Frygar, Frygar is having medium range, Grumara is having very far range, so things are not working. Even if I try to build this legion, you're going to see that the things is just not going in good direction. This is Lilia, also a mage main, and I'm going to put Frygar. You're going to see that here is Frygar's skill attack range is medium, which is shorter than the magic unit's attack. The specific for overall heroes is they exceed all of the range attacks. It can be with mages, it can be with infantry. The spells is also very good on some of the overall heroes, like for example Thea is one very nice hero. Also Muxiang is also one very nice hero that you can actually have, doing some damage, increasing the damage. Is if you're having a missing hero, for example you're mage main or you're focused over mages and you cannot build your legion because you're missing some good mage heroes, you can use some overall heroes to fill this hole, and like this also to build very solid legion in Call of Dragons. After we cover the mages, let's jump to the pets, but before we do that, if you have any question that is still unclear for you, just write it down in the comment section. I'm checking out my comment section and I'm going to try to provide you with an answer as fast as you can. Also hit one like on this video if you're enjoying Call of Dragons, and if you're looking for daily Call of Dragons dose, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you're informed every time I put a new video in this game. So let's jump over the pets. Now from the Legion setup, we already noticed that we're having the 2 heroes, but also we're having a pet. You can use just 1 pet per Legion. You can have 2 heroes but 1 pet. So going further over the pets, there is some important points that I want to mention about pets because there is just so much information over the pets. So again, if something is unclear, just let me know in the comments below. If I go over the pets, which is basically right down corner, in the pet sanctuary, this is where your pets are going to live. You have pet action house where you can buy or sell your pets. The restrictions there is your pet have to be legendary, having 3 legendary attributes, and also be a legendary, I think, and having 8 spots, full amount of spots, and you can sell this pet. In my case, I can actually sell, for example, this pet because it's actually having 8 spots and 3 legendary attributes. But let's go over the importance of the pet. Here I'm not going to go that much over each legion what kind of pet to use, but because every new hero heroes that are presented in Call of Dragons most of the times are coming with the pet that is very good for them, but you can go and check it out for each of the pets the best builds you can do. And for example, Sapphire Fire Drag, this is obviously a mage. Even the game give you a suggestion. Now I want to point out that the game actually make pretty nice and good suggestion. I mean, this is recommended heroes. For Sapphire Fire Drag is Lilia, Velen and Ewin. The reason this is the recommended heroes is just because, for example, Intense Play Boom, each time you inflict Scorch, Hair Frost or Enshare to one enemy legion, Plain Boom deals more damage the next time it casts. Now Lilia is giving you the Scorch, this is an after effect of her first spell. Velen is giving you Hair Frost, and Ewin is giving you this Ensnare. So this is the best synergy the pets can make. The best synergy this pet can have is actually with these three heroes. I can actually point out you can also use Wodir, because Wodir also apply Hair Frost, but you know, just the game show up just three heroes. So if you wonder which pet is going to work with which heroes, I can just go and check out the recommended heroes, or you built right now your legion and you're wondering what kind of pet you're looking for this legion, you can go and check out the recommended heroes. If you're not so 100% sure, let me know in the comments. I'm going to give you a suggestion. I also have so much videos over this topic on my channel, but this is advanced Call of Dragons beginner guide, so I'm expecting people to have questions. And I can give you one more pet, for example, Moon Bear. Obviously this is an infantry hero. It's one solid infantry hero pet because it's doing 100% more damage when cast by infantry legions. It's basically double up the damage, deals some diffused damage. Now for the Moon Bear, here we are not seeing all the heroes. And that's why I'm asking, if you have any question, just let me know in the comments. Because Mogro, yeah, is good, but majority of the cases Moon Bear is a pet that people are using in the Garnison fights, in the Gates fight or Bastion fights, because it's a very solid pet for this type of fights. So you can see Moon Bear with Kuma, with Goresh, or basically all of the infantry heroes. This is one of the best pets in Call of Dragons for infantry. Other best pet I can say is Mosrock Auroch. Here you're going to see is Kuma and Li Kuan. And one of the reasons is this pet was presented with these two heroes all together like a pack in Call of Dragons. But Mosroach can work with other heroes also. Some other hero pet that is good for infantry. This is Venom Blizzard. This is more like overall. As you can see, even the pet is having this thing. Overall, this is for all troops, but you can use it with, for example, infantry, because this spell is like 12% chance to do some crazy amount of damage, and since you're infantry and you're tank and you get hit by many places, this percentage is just like non-stop proccing, so the enemy legion is just receiving some extra damage. Maybe one of the best pets for counter damage. And the pet outside is actually moving with your heroes. If I go out with my legions, and this is, yeah, the way you catch the pet, you just click over the pet, you click over the capture, and you're going to be able to get this Sapphire Fire Drag. Now, if you want to go and search for a specific pet, you can go on auto and basically select the pet you're looking for. Right now, I'm going for Flaming Manticore. And I'm looking for this pet. This is the legion I sent to actually farm this pet. And the moment you kill the pet, or HP of the pet disappear, the pet is going to get stunned, and you're going to be able to capture this pet. By capturing the pet, you're going to be able, the majority of the times you're going to see that they're having the Tawan skill, and later is the rest of the spells. Something that I'm doing is I'm getting the Tawan skill, and I'm getting the... And in cases like this, where this one is also very solid, this is in Intense Fire Cage, increase the effect of Burning Mark by Fire Cage by 1%, Only in case like this, I'm just going to click and I'm going to remove the pet, and like this I'm going to get one of the pet cards right there. So by doing that, I'm going to get the talent skill of this pet right away. How you can get more pet skills? It's just, first of all, if you're looking for some specific pet skill, you can go in the exchange house and you can look the skill that is best fitting for your pet. Before 1 minute I show you the game recommendation for the heroes, but there is also recommendation for the pet skills you can use there. This is also very valuable information to build very nicely your pet. Since my pet is magic one, I want to maybe get magic fortune. It's giving critical rate 10% when the war pet is doing magic damage, and I really like to believe for the pets like a second heroes, like third small hero right there. And for example, my Sapphire Fire Drag is having the damage is like 400 and something damage factor, but with this skill I'm going to get 30% critical rate. And there is one more spell that is increasing the critical damage, and we have more spells that is increasing again the critical rate and the critical damage, which can make your pet absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Now the next thing I want to point out is going to be your decorations, and by decorations I mean your city skin. As you can see right now, I have a city skin with adornment. If you go in Require, this is basically right here in your castle, and you can click over the city skin. One of the things I want to point out is you're going to have epic one and legendary one. Epic one is going to give you, either if you have this as active city skin, is going to give you magic unit attack like 5%, is giving some bonuses, let's say it like this, 5% for marksmen, for cavalry, but you also have opportunity to activate this city skin, and is going to give you 0.5%. From the city skins, since I have my legendary one, which is giving 10%, and if you get the adornment is extra 3%, this is what I'm receiving. Magic unit HP bypass 13%, by the legendary city skins is going to give you extra 2%. Very important. So if you have like 5 legendary city skins, because you can only have 5 city skins activated, you're going to receive like 10% bonus. If you have 5 epic one, you're going to receive 2.5%. This is for the city skins. The epic one can be easily achieved by some events that are presented in Call of Dragons from time to time, where there is a epic city skin inside. The legendary one can be achieved in the greatest heights, or by having some tokens from the greatest heights. Everything is related in the greatest heights. This is the Seal of Power. If you have 6 of this Seal of Power, you can buy a legendary city skin also. So this is for the city skins. The other thing is the decorations. This is a new mechanic in Call of Dragons, where you can have like 5 very solid decorations that by default is giving you 0.5%. We also have legendary decorations that is giving you like 0.2%. This is the starting point. Now those decorations that is 0.2, you can get it from the merit shop. When you get in the merit shop, you're going to have these boxes here, random epic decoration chest or random legendary decoration chest. From this one you're going to get the legendary one, but only 0.2% legendary decorations. The 0.5% one is coming from the events, and right now we're having one of the events, and this is for Lotus Water, that is giving you 0.5%. If you level up this decoration, is going to go to from 0.5, 1.2, 1.9, 2.6 and etc. up to 5% attack, 5% defense and 3% damage do. And having 5 of these decoration active can give you crazy buffs, crazy buffs in Call of Dragons. Absolutely the same for the other decoration. You can just go and check it out what they're going to give you. For example, this is 0.2%. It's going to give you max 3% Legion attack and 3% Legion defense. The epic one is going to give you less stats. It's going to be 2% attack and 2% defense. This is the decorations, and you can also have only 5 active decorations in same time, like the city skin. And finally, let's talk about the artifacts. The most important things that you need to know about the artifacts, like the pets, like the heroes, they're a seed specific troop. For example, in this case, I'm going to give you a Phoenix Eye. Phoenix Eye is from season 1 free-to-play player. Artifact is magic, increase magic units, combat attributes is very important. It's actually not specific for, it's not for specific troop, but is boosting specific troop attributes. As you can see, it's magic unit attack, damage, and legion attack. Absolutely the same with the next artifact is cavalry unit attack and legion attack. This is the attributes that is going to get added as an extra to your legion. So it's completely pointless, for example, to use mage artifacts on marksman troops, because the marksman is going to only benefit from the legion normal attack, that's 22%, the damage taken and damage do. This one is also applying like overall for all heroes, but the main stats, this 40%, is for specific troops. Now the artifacts, I'm going to even give you an example, is pretty straightforward. They have different, first of all, rage regeneration. If we check it out here, the mage artifact is needing 1.6 rage cost. This is the rage that you accumulate, so you will be able to trigger this artifact. Also, the artifact is having cooldown. At this moment, it's like 1 minute and 21 seconds. I want to point out this is because of a season policy that currently I'm having, and it's reducing the artifact skill cooldown by 10%. But normally is 1 minute and a half for all the artifacts. Now for the Phoenix Eye, as I mentioned, is like 1.6 rage cost. For the cavalry artifacts is like, okay, this one is not actually required any kind of rage, but if we go for Sorwan Blade, you're going to see it's needing 600 rage. So it's like 2 times and a half less rage needed to trigger this artifact. Infantry one is like 400. As you can see, it's like 400. And the marksman one is 1.2k rage accumulation speed, rage cost that is needed this artifact to get triggered. So for the ranged legions is more the rage requested to trigger the artifact. For the melee one, since they're melee one, they have to act very fast, is less rage. 400 for the infantry, 800 for the cavalry, 1.2k for the marksmen, and 1.6k for the mages. It's like depending on the rage of the troop. Now there is a different artifacts. Maybe I'm going to make different video for the artifacts, just for the artifacts, because there is just so many things. But this is the important thing that you have to know: the base stats, how much is the cooldown, what is the rage cost, and from there you can see each of the artifact what is doing. For example, we're having Phoenix Eye that is doing 4k skill damage factor at level 5 is 2k at level 1, and at level 5 is going to hit 5 targets, at level 1 is going to be 4 targets. Now there is a different artifacts. For example, this is Dragon Fate, is having additional effect. When launching a normal attack, the Welder Legion has a 100% chance to do extra magic damage. And probability at level 1 is 50%, is 100% on level 5, and additional damage is 120. This is the additional effects. And to be fair, the artifacts with additional effects is one of the strongest artifacts in Call of Dragons. And I'm going to make a little preview about the artifacts, how they exactly are working. I'm going to put Bertrand with Tohar. Now in season, right now we're in the season Age of Duality. You are having 2 artifacts. You can actually use 2 artifacts, and as you can see on my legion I have 2 artifacts. So normally it's just one, just for this season. Is something specific for the season where you can basically pick and put a second artifact at the end of the day. So let me show you what these artifacts are doing. basically hitting, as you can see, the first one is getting faster the rage, so they're going to get triggered way more faster. Here comes the first artifact, and soon the mage artifact is going to get triggered and is also going to do some damage over this troop. Now the artifacts, imagine like a very strong solid skill, hero skill, but it's have 1 minute and a half cooldown, but still very solid skill. And finally, I want to talk about the tier 5 and the fastest way to open the tier 5. First thing, you need a lot of research speed, because those opening the tier 5 is one of the main milestones in Call of Dragons, so you're going to need a lot of research speed, so try to benefit from all of the research speed. You can get from a different way. You can get from mana stone. I'm going to even show you from where I'm getting my research speed. I got from the technology 25%, so basically this is in the research center. The behemoth buff right now in my kingdom is giving me extra 5%. Buildings, which is basically the building, the college that is inside the researches, is giving me 25%, and from the VIP I get 20%. So all these things stack up and is going to make opening tier 5 way more easy, but it's completely fine to open the tier 4 and after this slowly progress to tier 5. Something I want to mention is at one point when you're going to hit assault strategy, level 7 is going to request from you to have all the economy tower, economy tree finish it. You're going to need this one at level 10, so you're going to need all the economy tower tree. So the tier 5 is the most slow thing you can, you can get, and this is the reason why it's one of the main goals in Call of Dragons. But yeah, how you can get faster tier 5, the reason is the way is pretty simple. It's not so simple to achieve, but what I did was getting these 24-hour speed ups. It opened at level 15, VIP 15, and getting the 8-hour speed up if I have a gem. Obviously, I'm a low spender, so I can actually afford getting some speed ups, but if you're a free-to-play player, you're just going to take some time. And speaking about the VIP, with the new changes in Call of Dragons, every day on the daily basis, you're going to receive 400. Back in the days was 200, which is going to just help you way more faster. And this is from the Alliance chest that you would, it's just going to give you some extra VIP. In the VIP, yeah, buy everything with the resources what you can. Resources are very easy to be getted, and with the gems at the beginning, I can say spend on the 8-hour speed ups, and after you hit VIP 15, go for 24-hour speed ups. There is one more level that I still don't have, and this is as VIP, which is giving you some extra buffs. On top of that, with each level you're going to receive different buffs. So for example, at level 1, level 0 is just some production of the buildings. Here some gathering speed you're going to receive, and etc. The main places or the main points in the VIP is level 8, where you get the second queue in the researches, and you're going to get research speed. Very important. These two things is with crucial importance. After this, at VIP 14 and also at VIP 8, you're going to get your first universal token. This is legendary hero token. This is at level 8. So the next maybe bullet point or maybe most important thing is VIP 14, where it's going to give you the 2 legendary hero tokens, and these hero tokens you use to level up your heroes. And VIP 15 is for the 24-hour speed ups. Every week you're going to receive 20 of these 24-hour speed ups. It costs 600 gems, even though that you cannot see, but it just speed up the process very rapidly for opening the tier 5 troops. So if you have a question, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you didn't check the first part of the beginner guide in Call of Dragons, I'm going to put one video here. This is your day 1 up to the first week. What you have to keep in mind, what you have to focus, how you can always keep your buildings working, non-stop producing troops, guide for the college order, basically everything you need to know from the day 1 to get tremendous advantage over the rest of the players who don't know that. I wish you a great day and see you in this video.